Hey everyone, Brian here. I hope you're all doing well. So in this video lesson, I'll be showing you a fingerstyle guitar arrangement of Let It Be by the Beatles. One of the greatest songs of all time. And I think a song that you can listen to regardless of what era you're from or what generation you're from. And you can listen to it and get a sense of calm and peace every time, knowing that even though things are tough, things will be okay eventually. Sometimes you just gotta let it be. I had to say it, didn't I? So in this video lesson, I'll be mainly showing you the bass melody idea that is a great way to get started with fingerstyle guitar, playing a bass line with your thumb and melody with your fingers. And it's a great launching pad to then start adding different ideas later on. So if you're a little bit more advanced or you're a little bit more far along in your fingerstyle guitar journey, you can skip ahead to the second half of this video where I'll be showing you how you can add different techniques like hammer-ons, pull-off slides, finger rolls to really spice up this arrangement. But if you're just starting out, I'd recommend that you'd stay with the first half of this lesson so you really get the core foundation of not only this song, but what fingerstyle guitar is all about. So don't forget there is a free PDF tab that you can download. So if you're on YouTube, click the link in the description box below. If you're on my website, you can just click the little button. The PDF has the complete tab of this arrangement I've come up with you and a few practice tips as well. Practice tips, not practice tips. And if you are on YouTube, please don't forget to subscribe. Hit that bell notification. Like, share it with your friends, family, and everyone. Tell them to let it be. And also tell them that the letter B comes before C. Alright, just before I ruin my comedy career, let's get straight into the lesson. Alright, let's get stuck into it. So the first thing we'll need to outline is the chord progression. We'll only need 4 chords. We start off with a C major chord. Take note of where the bass note is, which is on the 5th string, 3rd fret. Then we'll need a G major chord. On this occasion, I'm playing it with 3 fingers, but again, outline the bass note. That's the most important note for now. And then we have the A minor. Can take a note of the open 5th string as the bass root note. Now with F, we can play it as a simple 3-note triad this way. Strings 4, 3, 2. Okay, you can come around with your thumb, but we're going to try to keep it nice and thin and nice and simple for now. Those are the 4 chords that we have, and if you outline the bass notes, we have C, G, A, and then F. That's all we need. Okay, so we're going to start putting the melody to the song now, and this is where we're really going to explore that bass melody idea and really get the foundation of fingerstyle guitar going. So make sure that you have the PDF downloaded and you're open at the arrangement part of the PDF so you can see everything in front of you. The video is a great way to see everything come to life, and of course you can pause and rewind the video as many times as you need to. Okay, so we're going to get started with verse 1. Which obviously goes, when I find myself in times of trouble, Mother Mary comes to me. Alright, I had to sing that just for me. But let's start off by putting the first part over the C bass like this. Here comes the bass note. Okay. Then we move over to G, and we're going to play times of trouble. Then we'll go, Mother Mary comes to me over A minor. comes to me, comes over F. Okay, I'll play those first 4 bars for you really slowly again. So starting over C, we have when I find myself in. Moving over to G. Over the A minor. Over F. Okay. Now we move on to speaking words of wisdom, let it be, which starts with a C. G. And then let it be, which goes into F. Then that little piano line at the end. Before we finish on C like that. Okay, so that's the opening verse to Let It Be, just with the bass and melody idea. I'll play it all through very slowly for you so you can hear how it kind of sounds like. This is not really a performance playthrough, it's more just a slow demonstration of how everything comes together. Here we go. Moving over to A minor. To F. Back to C. G. F. C. Okay, so moving on to verse 2 of the song, it's actually very, very similar to verse 1. There's only a little bit different in the first 2 bars, which goes, and in my hour of darkness, she is standing right in front of me. And then whispering words of wisdom, let it be, which is the same. So let's have a look at that first 2 bars over C and G. So it goes... And then... Okay, so let me break that down for you very slowly. So still the same chords, C, G, A minor, and F, or same bass notes as before. So the first melody goes, and in my hour of... And then darkness is where we change over to G. She is... This is where we go into A minor, hit the A bass, 5th string. Standing right in. And then front of me, which goes to F. And then the second half is the same as verse 1. So, speaking or whispering words. So if you can do verse 1, then verse 2 shouldn't be too much of a challenge. It's just playing a slightly different melody and just getting a couple of awkward positions like this opening part. Just that, and then making sure you keep your middle finger there when you go into G. And then you have that little line there which goes... she is standing right in front of me. Okay, so just a couple of awkward movements, and that's the idea of this bass and melody part. Everything is moving simultaneously, so we're really trying to get you to understand, or I'm trying to get you to understand how playing 2 parts work together. Okay, so have a go at verse 1 and 2 before we head into the chorus in the next part. Okay, so we're heading into the chorus of the song now. Such a beautiful part of the song, which goes, Let it be, let it be, let it be, let it be. So we're going to use the same chords, but we're going to slightly alter the chord progression. We're going to start with an A minor, which goes to G, F, then C. Okay, so here's the opening melody. We have let it be. And then you can hit the A bass. If it's more comfortable for you to hold the full chord shape, even though we're not playing the full chord right now, do that. If it feels more familiar and a little bit more comfortable, go for it. And it actually will hold you well for later on when we start adding different techniques and little finger rolls and extra little bits and pieces later on. So let me play that bit one more time for you. So we have let it be, bass. Now the next melody, we're going to go up to the 5th fret on the 1st string like this. G. And I'm using my first finger. You can use your thumb if you want, if your thumb can reach around. Use whichever finger you're most comfortable with. So that goes, let it be, bass. Then let it be, which leads you into the F chord. And then the final bit, let it be. And that's over C. Okay, I'll play through those 4 bars very slowly for you. So we had let it be over A minor, and then let it be over G, then let it be, leading into the F chord, and then let it be, back to the home chord, C. Now the second half of the chorus is the same as the second half of the verse, you know, da da ba da 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 da. So let's go through that. C to G, and then let it be going to F, then that little piano run leading back to C. Okay, so that's the chorus to the song. I'll play it all for you in one go without stopping. Again, more of a demonstration than a performance feel. So let's run through it nice and slowly. And then there will be an answer. Let it be. Okay, so as a little bonus, I'm going to show you guys how you can put an intro together. I didn't quite do this in the beginning performance part of the video, but I think it really brings the song together and really adds to the narrative of the song. So we can take the open chords that we have and we can play them as you do in open position: C major, G major, A minor, and then F major. And what we're going to do, or what I'm going to show you, is just a very straightforward rhythmical pattern, and it's very similar to the piano line that is in the original song, where it goes doom, 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 doom. So you can take your chord, we'll start with C, have your thumb on the bass note on the 5th string, and you can use fingers 1, 2, and 3 on strings 3, 2, 1, and you can play this pattern. Very classic fingerstyle pattern where you're alternating between the thumb and the fingers. Going into G, you can move your thumb up to the 6th string for the bass note and fingers 1, 2, 3, moving up to 4, 3, 2. Strings 4, 3, 2, that is. you go to A minor, you can hit the 5th string open and then move your fingers back down to strings 3, 2, 1. Or you can keep them on 4, 3, 2. It's up to you, depending on the sound you like. You might like a mid-range sound like this. If you like a higher sound, then move them back to strings 3, 2, 1. And then for the F, we'll move the bass note down to the 4th string and then fingers 3, 2, 1. Sorry, strings 3, 2, 1 with fingers 1, 2, 3. If you are able to, you can bring your thumb around, on your left hand that is, and reach over for the bass note and play it that way. Okay, so if you put that idea together, it might sound something like this. We'll go C to G to the A minor, and then the F with the low bass, or F with the high bass. Then we can go back to C, to the G. Now for the ending, we can do that little ba 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 line. So we're going to walk our way down to the 8th and 10th fret. You're going to fret the 5th string 8th fret. That's the F bass. And you're going to have fingers 3 and 4 on strings 3 and 2 on the 10th fret, like this. With your right hand, you're going to play the 5th, 3rd, and 2nd string. That's still an F chord, it's just an octave higher up on the fretboard. Now take your first finger back 1 fret, and you can have fingers 2 and 3 on frets 8 and 9. Again, this is all on the tab, so if you're not sure where to put your fingers, you can look at the tab and you'll have the full arrangement there. This is an E minor. Take each finger there 2 frets down, so you end up on frets 5, 6, and 7. And then you can move to frets 3 and 5, and we end up with that original position shape that we had down here, but it's on frets 3 and 5. And that's a C chord. Alright, so we kind of come full circle. So that full run again. We can even keep going. We can go to a G7 like this, or G major. You have your bass note on the 3rd fret 6th string, that's for G. Middle finger on the 2nd string 3rd fret. 3rd finger on 3rd string 4th fret. Take that 2 frets down, that takes you to F. And then you can finish on an open C like this. Okay, so let me give you a nice slow demonstration of all that put together, and that can act as your intro. So starting on the C, we have to G, A minor, F with the low bass, C again, G again. Now walk your way down to frets 8 and 10. F, E minor, D minor, C, G7, F, and a nice open C to finish. Okay, so what I'm going to show you guys now is ways to embellish the song and make it sound really interesting, adding different techniques like hammer-ons, pull-offs, slides, finger rolls. I'll also show you a really cool way to approach ending the song and also adding a little intro as well. So if you haven't quite got the bass and melody idea down under your fingers, I do encourage you to stick with that until you look at this part of the video. In this part of the video, I'm going to assume that you know the melody really well. So all we're doing is kind of adding little toppings and decorations on a nice little cake. Okay, so let's have a look at the verse. So a simple way to make things interesting is just adding little hammer-ons, pull-offs, and slides to make the melody sound more vocal, as in how a singer might sing it. So a singer wouldn't go, they wouldn't play it like that. It's really dull. They go, when I find myself in times of trouble, Mother Mary comes to me, stuff like that. So ways to make it sound more like a singer is to add little hammer-ons and pull-offs like this. See, I've added a little hammer-on there. And then times of... little slide there. You don't want to add a hammer-on or pull-off every single time. You need to do it in appropriate places and times. So the best way, or I guess the easiest way to work out where, is sing the melody and try to figure out where you can add a hammer-on to make it sound like you're singing. So when I find myself in, like there, you can add, little hammer-on there, times a little hammer-on there. And then we'll go speaking words of, little hammer on there, wisdom, let it be. Okay, little ideas like that, Sometimes you got to experiment and you got to see where it fits. If you add a hammer on and slide or technique on every single note, it just starts to sound like you're just throwing in a technique for the sake of a technique, and it sounds a bit too guitar-like, which is a weird thing to say because that's what we're playing, but this is what happens if you do add it on every single note, See, it just becomes a mess, and it becomes actually too complicated and too complex to play without it needing to be complex. So there's a couple of different ways that you can explore the melody. We can do it for the chorus as well. So we can go, little slide there. So let it be. Little hammer on here. That was actually a hammer on and a pull off at the same time. Because the way we sing that, you go, let it be, let it be. See how the way that I'm singing it is sort of how the way I'm playing it. If you're not really sure how to sing it yourself, have a listen to how Paul McCartney sings it and try to emulate how he sings it in the original tracks or any live version that he's done. We can also look at adding finger rolls, and this is where we start exploring the full chord, so we get past just playing bass and melody. So obviously we have now when we get to the A minor over here, we have the open A and the open first string as your outline. In between we have this nice A minor chord, and we can add a finger roll like this. You can also do that with your thumb, which is a little bit of a cheat, but sounds good when you really pull it off well. So it's more of a strum than a roll, but it works very well. You can do the same thing when you go to the F like that. And then when you play the C chord, see a little roll there. You can do it with your thumb. Over G here. And then when you finish the song, nice little roll over C. So there's a couple of different ways to add to what we have, all right? This doesn't get in the way of the melody or the bass. It's just like little toppings on a little cake. You know, you can put as many toppings as you want, but you still got to make sure that the base is a nice vanilla or chocolate foundation, you know? So we can also do it for the chorus as well. We can go... little rolls like that. So if you play it through in one go with all those different techniques, it may sound something like this. So I might play one verse very quickly. It will go... I do recommend that you practice one idea at a time though, so if you're looking to add hammer-ons and pull-offs and slides, do that first before you do the finger rolls, and vice versa. And once you really get comfortable with both ideas and techniques, when you start playing the song, it will be very natural. It's not like you're throwing in techniques for the sake of techniques. It's a musical thing. You're doing it to enhance the song. You're not doing it to show off or just play techniques. You're looking at to make the music sound even more gorgeous than it already is. Another thing that you can add that can really take your playing to the next level without having to add too much is varying the dynamics of the song and the volume. And you can do this by adding a palm mute. So palm mute is done by resting the side of your hand just there on top of the bridge, just in front of it, and you're not really pushing it down, you're kind of just resting it there. So when you play the bass line or the bass notes, instead of getting a big booming piano-like bass like this, you're getting almost like a double bass sort of texture. It's very subtle, but when you do this and play the melody at the same time, the melody really speaks out. Check this out. So if I go... Compare that to when you don't add the bass, when you don't add the palm mute. It's a very subtle difference, and there really is no right or wrong. You got to decide what you like and what's best for you and your personal taste. You may want to start the song really quietly, so you might add the palm mute early on, or maybe you want to start the song really loud and really big and then quieten down when we get to the chorus, which that would be quite a surprise. Most people think when you get to the chorus you got to go all out and really go hard, but you might want to quieten down at the chorus. That might surprise a few people. So the chorus, instead of sounding like this, like that, you might go... Almost sounds like it's an a cappella, it's the singer, you're putting the singer front and center, and everyone else, the bass players and the rest of the band kind of takes a step back. So really explore the dynamics, figure out, what you like. Maybe you want to start the song really quietly and go really loud, or mix it around and start really loud, go really quiet. Just go with what feels right for you. Experiment. This is all about trying different ways to play the same thing to keep things fresh and interesting and exciting. Alright, I hope you guys enjoyed that lesson on Let It Be. It's one of the greatest songs of all time, and it's actually one of the few 4-chord songs that the Beatles wrote. So in a way, it teaches us that there's a lot of beauty in ordinary things, as Pam from The Office would say. In the first half of this video lesson, I really banged on about that bass melody idea and really keeping that at the forefront and in your main focus and foundation. And if you really keep that in your mind, then when you start learning more complex songs with more complex techniques or chord changes and melodies, this idea will really keep you grounded and hold you together. It's very easy to get excited about all these complex and advanced techniques, but if you just jump straight into that deep end, you will get overwhelmed and it will be quite confusing because you won't really know where all these ideas come from. So not only is this song a great way to start exploring different ways to embellish melodies and explore complex and exciting techniques. It also teaches you that you got to start really simple and start not necessarily at the bottom, but start at what's most important, and that is the bass and the melody. So remember to listen to the song as well. Listen to the original version by the Beatles. Really pay attention to how Paul McCartney sings it. Then find your favorite version of the song. You may connect with another person's version, and what that will help you do is find your own inner voice. Find a way that you'll be able to sing it, and when you start playing the way that you sing it, that's how you put your own inner voice and personality into your own playing. So make sure you download the PDF that comes with this lesson. It has the full arrangement in tab and notation. It's got a few more practice tips so you can see how everything is laid out. Take your time with it, have fun with it. I hope this really takes you further with your fingerstyle guitar journey, and I look forward to seeing you guys in the next one.